Team Fortress 2 is undeniably one of the best multiplayer shooters out there, with extremely diverse and fun gameplay, a larger-than-life cast of characters, and so many weapons. Some would even go as far to say that TF2 is a perfect video game. But despite all that, I prefer the Roblox version of it. Well, there goes my subscriber count. It was a good run. But come on guys, hear me out, I'll explain. So let's start with which one I'm talking about. Yeah, there's multiple. I've actually had quite a history with TF2 clones on Roblox, starting with Tetragon Fortress, the first ever TF2 clone I stumbled upon. It's extremely crude and unpolished, but still got the core of TF2. 9 classes, loads of weapon, and it's got the main game modes too. Of course, it has a few minor graphical and mechanical differences, but it's barely noticeable. Wow, it's like the exact same game. Alright, who am I kidding? It sucks, and Tetragon isn't even in real shape. 0 out of 10. So let's move on to Era Warfare. This game seeks to actually differentiate itself quite a lot from TF2. Its theme is of different time periods clashing against each other, with each class representing this. We've got Caveman, Knight, Cowboy, Soldier, and Inventor. Although I'm not sure how a Caveman with a literal dart gun is supposed to contend with an RPG-wielding soldier. Speaking of the classes, you probably realize that there's only 5. How does that work? Well, they somehow crammed all of the 9 classes from TF2 into these weird hybrid classes, resulting in monstrosities such as the Inventor being the Engineer, Spy, and Medic all at the exact same time. It's insane! Plus, to fit these weird hybrid classes, a lot of weapons got turned into amalgamations, leading to loadouts where a spy can't disguise itself but gets a shotgun for their primary, or 350 HP demo man with the Iron Bomber and the Sandwich. It's pretty clear that the objective of Era Warfare wasn't to be perfectly balanced, but to rather put a unique spin on TF2, and the fun of the game comes from the weird loadouts you can come up with. Unfortunately, there's one small issue of your teammates always being AFK, and the average skill level of people in Era Warfare isn't exactly high, so let the games where I got steamrolled and quadruple scored the second guy on my team, but also let me somehow chain stab the entire enemy team on the cart. But who cares about that? There's an item you can buy that reskins all your buildings as Engineer into Plants vs Zombies plants, so 10 out of 10! Finally, there's typical colors too. While every other TF2 Roblox clone falls short in some regard, this game is the real deal. TC2 has all the classes, all the mechanics, almost all the weapons, and the sniper is just as annoying as it is in the real TF2. The developers interestingly made the creative choice to redesign the characters of the 9 classes and gave them custom voice lines that slightly vary in quality, but still cool that they did that. TC2 is generally quite polished, the animations are quite good, there doesn't seem to be any obvious bugs, and the game plays smoothly most of the time. Although I do have a massive issue with the ping, and it is ungodly how bad it affects gameplay, and it's currently contributing to heightened levels of cortisol in my bloodstream. You would not believe the amount of times where rockets and pipes have phased through pyros to then somehow being air blasted back, or the many times where I've been backstabbed from the front, or the moments where I've somehow dealt 0 damage with a point-blank shotgun blast. Despite all that, TC2 can still be incredibly fun and emulates the gameplay of the real TF2 very closely. Of course, there are still differences, but this is the closest to TF2 you'll get than, well, just playing TF2. But even still,
why play typical colors when you can play TF2? It makes no sense.
Which is a really good question, Mr. Foco. Unfortunately, I'm no Danarade and don't have Foco on speed dial.
I've also got Foco on speed dial.
But if I did, I'd answer by first prefacing that I do not think TC2 is better than TF2. Since as close as typical colors resembles Team Fortress, it's still missing some things like the entirety of man vs machine, and you just simply can't outdo the original game. But on the other hand, there are still reasons to play TC2 over TF2, or at least check it out in the first place. In fact, the most important reason is what caused me to seek out TF2 clones initially, and it was because I literally could not play the real TF2. Sure, TF2 is free, but it's also 25 gigabytes, and when you have a potato laptop with absolutely no space, Roblox really is your best option. Also, TC2 oddly enough actually has weapons that TF2 doesn't. In some cases, it's just reskins such as the Avenger, which is in reality the Frontier Justice, because I guess Uncle Dane started placing a monopoly on his brand or something and sued TC2. I'm actually not quite sure, since this used to be called the Frontier Justice and it got changed for some reason recently. In any case, there are also completely unique guns that don't currently exist in the real TF2. The Gutbuster is an entry primary weapon that starts you off with 25 less HP, but you mini-crit your sentry's target and get increased HP and speed on kill, allowing you to absolutely snowball as the battle entry subclass. Then there's Heavy Metal, that replaces the Engineer's secondary slot. It increases your max metal capacity from 200 to 300, as well as providing a 7% speed buff. These are only 2 examples, but you can see how even as a TF2 player, Typical Colors 2 still has worthwhile things to check out apart from wanting to play the haha funny LEGO version of TF2. However, the true reason why I personally prefer TC2 is literally because I have all the weapons in TC2 and can't be bothered to grind for them in the real TF2. That's literally it. Yeah, okay, that might be a bit boring, but it really is just that. I played TC2 for so long before I got a good PC and was able to play TF2 that I didn't mind sticking to the game I was already used to, even if it is, at the end of the day, goddamn Roblox. I guess it's just a testament to how good of a job the developers of TC2 did at recreating TF2. Anyways, that's the video. I just wanted to showcase some Roblox TF2 clones and answer all these comments I got about playing TF2 over TC2. So was my opinion in this video completely wrong and terrible? Then make like this guy and become a keyboard warrior and tell me that this video is bad.